Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah bil alameen. This is part 2 on Sunday, the 17th of April, 2016. I just handed out a sheet. It was on As-Sabiqun. Did everybody get one of those As-Sabiqun?
Some hands away.
Okay. Let me see if I got one. So here we go. The Quranic ayat, we name our community after As-Sabiqun.
You got another?
This is the only one.
This is a dictionary.
Okay.
Dictionary.
So I want to introduce As-Sabiqun 2016. And of course the Quran says, the vanguard of Islam, the foremost, the first two of those who forsook their homes, and those who gave them aid, and also those who followed them in all good deeds. Well pleased is Allah with them, as are they with Him. For them had been prepared gardens under which rivers flow, to dwell therein forever. That is the supreme felicity. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. As-Sabiqun al-awwalun min al-muhajirin wal-ansar wal-ladhina attaba'uhum bi-ihsani radiyallahu anhum wa radu anhu wa addalahum jannatin tajri tahtaha al-anharu khalidina fiha abadan dhalikal fawdul azim. So the vocabulary kind of goes like As-Sabiqun, according to Tafsir of Quran, relates to the people before Badr. I mean, there's not a rule at all, but see, before Badr, if you accepted Islam in Mecca, there's no physical reward for it. You just in a lot of trouble. So, even the early immigration to Medina. After Badr, this thing might last. You know what I mean? So, most of the Mufassirun, the people who write Tafsir of Quran, they relate to As-Sabiqun as the people who accepted Islam first, and when they accepted Islam, you was just stating the case. I believe in Allah and the Messenger, and I ain't expecting no reward for it here. Nothing but trouble. Because all they had in those days was trouble and isolation and cutoff and what have you. So that's why the Quran says the vanguard, that is the first. As-Sabiqun al-awwalun. As-Safil al-awwal is the first rank. So awwalun is the first. The vanguard of Islam, the first who forsook their homes, and those who gave them aid. It says, As-Sabiqun al-awwalun min al-muhajirin wal-ansar. So those groups of people, the As-Sabiqun are considered those people who accepted Islam first when there was no chance of any victories or no guarantees of anything. And then the Muhajirin, those who left behind everything. Remember, when you leave and everything behind. Imagine telling the brothers at Juma, we're going to Kansas City, we want y'all to leave everything here that you got. Don't bring you can bring whatever you can put in your car. I don't care what your house note is. I don't care how far you paid for, how many Negroes you think would go? Hardly none, but just think, those people left everything behind. So the Muhajirin, while Ansar, the Ansar are the ones that brothered with the Muslims, Mu'akkad. They brothered with the people and they gave them basically half of what they had. That's why they're known as As-Sabiqun. Radiyallahu anhum, Allah is pleased with them, and they are pleased with Allah. Their reward will be places where rivers flow beneath them, abadan, forever, for a long time. Okay, that's As-Sabiqun. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the dictionary meaning of As-Sabiqun. Why we name ourselves As-Sabiqun. If we look right at, of course we got As-Sabiqun, Sabiqun up at the top. Then we got down here where it starts. Sabaka, from Sabiq. To be, to come, to get, or to act before or ahead. To proceed, antecede. To arrive before, to outstrip, outdistance, or leave behind. The bottom it says anticipate. As-Sabiqun means those people who go out first. Ain't no guarantee. It ain't no guaranteed reward. They just know it's the right thing to do and they go on out and get busy. They're not looking for nothing, it's all for the cause of Allah. Anticipate is one of the greatest part of strategy, is to be able to anticipate what the bad guys, the enemies of Islam, the shaitan, to anticipate what they're going to do. You not only can anticipate the jinns and the people, but you can anticipate the shaitan. How? It's right there in the Quran. This is what he going to do. This is what he always do. So if you're surprised at what shaitan do, it's because you're not reading the Quran. Or reading it is different. You have to believe it. You know, you have to really, really believe it and believe in incorporating it in your life. Now, that's the difference. We take this thing As-Sabiqun. Or say spontaneously before one can be stopped. To turn spontaneously, instinctively, without knowing why. As-Sabiqun got a lot of blessings going behind. There's somebody behind them ready to hit them with a bat, and they bend over right at the time the bat is going by and tie their shoe. They have no idea of what's going on in the back. Allah got them covered. Or they say or do what should be said, what should be done before anybody can stop them. This is As-Sabiqun. Now, As-Sabiqun have its deep levels. The first level of As-Sabiqun, we've done that. This may be technically the third level of As-Sabiqun. Because we didn't trap the Americans, we didn't trap the Negro, we didn't anticipated what they was going to do. In fact, we set them up. We told Mukhtar them what to do from here. And they did exactly what we wanted them to do. Therefore, we anticipated them. Right? Okay. So, say spontaneously before one can be stopped. Now, we have a general record of the stuff we've been saying and doing. I mean, if anybody can remember, okay, we're not bragging, but we've said 5, 10, 20 years ahead of time. If you look at our writing in 93, it says exactly what they was going to do in 2003. And don't read 2002, you know, relating to how to think and believe and act after that stuff is just laid out. And okay, so therefore, we're saying what should be done before anybody else. And within our power, we're doing what should be done. Now, in this case, saying is doing, because if you see wrong, stop it with your hand. If you can't speak out about it, and if you can't do that, at least feel bad about it. On those three levels, those are all actions. To feel bad about injustice is an action. Okay, by us saying and doing, we're following the Quran. Stand up for justice, whether it be against your family, your friends, the rich and the poor. Qawamana bil qist. So this is an action. Some cases, talking is just talking. Nigga, just talking ain't help to nothing. In this case, talking is action on the highest level within our range of possibility. You see what I mean? We can't do anything other than talk right now. We don't have the facilities. If we had a 10,000 man army, we still wouldn't move on the United States because it wouldn't be the time. It wouldn't be the time. There will come a time, probably, I don't know, something may happen, Allah's in charge, but Allah's in charge of that. What we see is, what can we do now? So these people turn spontaneously and instinctively. It's like an instinct. It's like a pigeon can fly from one place to another instinctively. Allah gave him that ability. When we do what Allah says, look, I'm telling you, you can believe it or you don't have to believe it. Allah will hook your behind up. That's what all of this last 35 years proves, 36 years proves about the movement. We've been going up against the big monster and the monster of helpers and stooges, and ain't nobody helped us at all. Nobody. But we help everybody else. When Imam Jamil had a problem, we the one jumped on it. Nobody else jumped on it. When our friends, big sports people, run out of money, we help them. I'm not bragging, but I'm saying this so the people are dummies in Oakland. See, if they'll pretend like they don't know what they're doing, you can't close down the Masjid, the house of Allah. That's what the little police said, the Arabs. And we want to find out who them Arabs are. I know who they are, but I want to get pictures of them. Because they came talking crazy, and then well, if you move on me, I'll have to protect myself. They are messing with you, and they're telling you, we're the police, and if you even bat your eye, well, we got the right to shoot you. Well, actually, when they came drawing guns, you know what happened? The police came, 10 or 12, 15 cars. They just blocked the streets so the people who had guns could run away, and then they drove up and took one picture of me with the doggone thing. This is the Oakland Police Department. So we anticipate, we know who we're dealing with. Well, we done stuck our foot in their behind. They ain't stuck their foot nowhere around us. Every time they jump on us, we done move somewhere else. We ain't got to scratch up. There has been no damage. You know, if you being a little damaged, when you paranoid, when they trying to take your money and you young, now then a nigga is looking around. I know what it is, looking around and trying to take my money, trying to send me to jail. You know what I mean? That nigga's the police. Who's that behind that tree? What you know what I mean? And don't be snorting no blow. Please don't use no crank or nothing like that. No method and crystal meth. You talking about paranoid? You be juiced up. The stuff the government could use against us in the dunya. Later on, we know, even in South America, the government was helping me set up the whole dope thing. They doing it. Their idea is to, because that's what you're going to do, we're going to keep you in it. But at the right time, we're going to take all of that back. So we know we dealing dope for the white man, a connection. I'm walking down the street and a connection fall out of the tree with a name tag on, cocaine connection. You know what I mean? Oh, would you like to try this and see? This is 100% pure cocaine.
Wow.
Yeah. Or you like that Ascama. I know you niggas like that Ascama, scum. You know, we called it in those days rock. That was, you ever seen cocaine that was a little orange or a little brown? We used to call it pineapple, all that. It's pure cocaine.
We never got that high.
Yeah.
Okay, that was like brown heroin. It's all heroin, but it can only be pure. It's like brown sugar.
Yeah.
Brown sugar is sweet, but white sugar is sweeter because they took everything out of it. Now, brown cocaine, we used to call it pineapple. Niggas like that. Because I'm telling you, look, let me explain what I'm talking about. White flakes is ting-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. You know what I mean? It's light, but we used to call it rock Ascama. They call it down there scum. It's low quality cocaine. I bought all of it I could get because that's what niggas like. Okay, when you take a hit of that, bang! Bang!
Goodness gracious.
Oh yeah, it's hey man, you be gone, and Negroes like that. It was stronger, and that white folks cocaine flake, which we had for white folks. We had white folks cocaine, we had nigger cocaine. You gotta give people what they want. Now you pay less for that rock and scum, but that's what the people want, and you can cut it more. Anyway, so you dealing drugs, the white man sets you up like he sets you up to sell drugs in the country. The drugs coming in is from them. Okay, but then when you're out of the country, you find out they run that too, right? So you got to go along with it. You're a black person in Colombia. What are you going to do? Hide? Where can you hide in Peru? A 6'2" Negro. Where can you hide in Peru? Everybody wearing them little bowler hats, you know, up in the mountains. You know how people look in Peru, up in the mountains in Bolivia? How you going to hide? You can't hide. So you got to go along with the game. So you do your own stuff on the side. When the white man closed the door and said it's all over, you got your own stuff and you're on the road. But here's the point. All of that teaches you something. When you accept Islam no holds barred. But you have learned the dirty games that people play. So, to turn spontaneously, instinctively, without knowing why. When Allah got you covered, a lot of the stuff you do, I know we sit here, we talk about there's a big strategic management condition of repression. This has holy-foley, jumbo-yumbo, and that's good. But Allah is implementing all of that. You can't hold all of that stuff. You can't. All of this whole global thing, you try to set up, how you going to set up the whole international movement all at one time by yourself? You can't do it. Allah can do it though. This is what, that they don't believe it. And you can fool them a lot, and they're surprised. He had already done it before. It's something that had been done before. This is the way I'm interpreting it. See right here it says, he had already done it before. Can you see that?
Yeah, yeah.
That means this stuff, way back, we had already done it before. When we got into Islam, we already anticipate, we know what's going to happen. I mean, within human terms, we know. Only Allah knows the future. But in human terms, we know what the government is going to do. because they let off of, by 1982, they give a few hints about where they're coming from. We say, well, that's it. So we know what they're going to do. So we can anticipate them. All along the way, we've been able to anticipate what the government is going to do. And we've been able to slip by every time without getting killed, without going to jail, without getting set up. This last move was the white man is, we tired of you niggas, so we're going to set you up. We're going to do stuff to you. You've got to respond. That's what they think. They think. All the stuff that happened in Oakland, nobody, unless they grounded in Quran and Sunnah, could put up with it. You've got to respond. It's humiliating, right? It's threatening. They got family, they got friends, they got the whole United States focus on that project. They guarantee to win. They said, this got to get it. We got to finish all of this. You know, we anticipate, we didn't set them up to do that. Therefore, we ain't giving them nothing to work with. Why? Because in a way, you're in charge of your own future. We call it in the old days responsibility. What does that mean? You have the ability to respond. They can do anything they want to do. But the response to that is on you. You see what I mean? What they did and they doing it up to today. Thursday was the last shot. But we respond to it the way we want. That's how white folks call it proactive instead of reactive. If you react to what reactionary, they called it in revolutionary days. People is reactionaries. They react to things instead of being what you call now proactive, right? So if you don't react to their action, that puts you in charge of your future, not them. Shaping and hurting. They figure we're going to get this all together. And they choose all the things that their little pea brain says will work. Not knowing that here we've been discussing the Quran at levels. And we don't tell them that. We tell them that we own them. Remember, think back a few years ago. I'm the Imam here. Ain't nobody else. I'm the only one. Think I'm serious about it? I'm just acting a fool like I can do it. Ain't nobody got no right to say they know Imam here but me. Because I'm the nigga in charge here. Right? Now, what does that send to them? This nigga is tired of playing around. If we roll on him now, he gonna blow up. Right? That's why I was saying that. So they would do that out there. And I said here, when I go out there, I ain't putting up with that stuff no more. So here they come.
Think it baby.
No, of course it's bait. But you know, the white man bait them too. Now the bait don't have no good news. Bait, either they kill it when they catch it, or they put it on the hook and throw it out in the water, and if the fish eat it,
either way they good.
Whatever it is, the bait, you don't hear nothing about, well, the bait got off the hook and went back and swam in the bait is finished. Those Negroes in California are bait. They use them. And that's why we don't respond to nothing. They can doo-doo on the front yard and on the letterhead. They can do anything they want. They can't get no response though. We won the game. We not, and they can't come, they keep coming back trying to get back in the game. No, so the game is over. There's already, the score says Negroes 500, white folks 2-0. You ain't got nothing. We done won this. And we're going to talk about your behind, make fun of you and your coons. Look at them coons there. Broken heart. got Abdul Malik, a player, a broken-hearted player. Nigga, how you gonna be a broken-hearted player coming into Masjid in '83 talking about, see, Imam Musa, you gotta think about it like a pimp. And what he's talking, y'all remember Iceberg Slim?
Yeah.
Here's a Negro in college. You know where you kind of little curly headed, you have a few little girls like you. So now, that ain't gonna help you a whole lot. When you get in the street with grown folks, them girls, you ain't got no money, nigga. You ain't got no sense. You can have curly hair all up and down, and that don't help nothing. But in high school or in maybe on campus, you know what I mean, the little in crowd. So anyway, he come over here talking that pimp talk to the masjid. I said, pimping? So you're a Malcolmist, huh? Okay, so let's get back. We're going to wrap this As-Sabiqun up. Let's go down this underline. As there has never been one before, which is unprecedented. No Negroes have challenged the white man face to face for no period of time and still laugh and talk about it. It just hasn't happened. And we should think about it. Has there been? There's been some very famous black people, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, King, Booker T. Washington and them, but they ain't never challenged the white man. Well, Malcolm challenged him, you know what I mean. King collaborated, and whatever you did, if it was your time to go, you left. If it ain't your time to go, you ain't going nowhere. That's what they don't know. But see, as there has never been one before, which is unprecedented. That means that's what As-Sabiqun is. All this, we've done that already. We're going into the higher level. Let's call it stage 3 As-Sabiqun. No, you think we're talking trash now? You wait 3-4 years. We fixing to stick our foot in the white man's behind again. It's not the same way. He has no idea. When he looks up, our feet gonna be sticking out of his behind, and he's gonna wonder how the heck did that happen? Now, here's what's good about this. And the white man believes. This is why the white man is mad right now. I mean, the Americans, you know, we don't mean white physically. He believes, so a man thinketh, so is he. You know what makes him mad? We think the way we think. Oh, he spent all day long trying to do something bad, so we'll think about the stuff he do. They believe if they can get our mind on what he's doing, we won't have our mind on what we're doing.
Right.
See, he's using his little nickel and dime psychology. So, when we always talking about thinking and optimism, and no matter what happens, we optimistic, and we say it don't make no difference. Whatever you do, cracker, we're going to turn it into a benefit, which we do. That means his hands is tied, not ours. Well, do something. Mess with an account. Draw a gun. Blow up the car. We'll just get 6 cars and park them out there. People will forget why we got all the cars, because he messed up the cars all the time. So we'll just get a lot of what we call disposable cars. He knows it's true because remember, we done left here many times and came back without a car. Well, we pull it over, we don't go, oh man, the car. We said, that's it, that's an expendable car. That's what I brought it for. And then they called, they said, well, this car is towed in. Would you come pick it up? We said, you can keep it. The white one out there, and it's 100 miles away, whatever it is. You remember when y'all came out there? I left it there. Brand new tires, run like, we done drove it all over, it runs like a top. They mess with it, tick, tick, tick. We leave it. Come back and get to Lincoln, we drive it, get to Kansas City. That's when you go on, when you cross the Missouri, you're getting into the west. Won't go no farther, like a horse. If you got it, won't go no farther. We drive a little over Kansas. We come back on the Missouri side and get a hotel. The car won't do nothing. So finally, I crank it up and send the books home. Not the books, send the CDs. And then I tell the family, well, y'all get on the train, have a nice train ride, and come on back. They have a nice train ride and come on back. I get in the car, So, well, it's too late to get out there in the car. So I go to California, I leave it at the airport. This car won't go. It won't do nothing before I send the stuff back in the family. I catch a plane, go to LA type, down Southern California, Orange County, give a big speech, hang out, tell the brothers, you know, my car stopped, so y'all gotta pay for that. So I don't lose nothing. I said, that's travel expenses. I had to send my family back. I had to do this, I had to do that. Because I don't charge people for it, you know, the program. But I said, this is an expense. You are my dear brothers. You all have all of this money. So thank you very much. We'll gladly take care of it. So we don't lose nothing. I get back to Kansas City Airport, jump in the car, zzz, drive it right back. It's another 1,100 miles from Kansas City here. No problem at all. Drive it up to Philadelphia 3 or 4 times, no trouble at all. I'm just trying to tell you is, now if you responded to that and was upset, right, they would keep on doing it. They keep on doing it. But no, Allah will show you a way. Let me finish this up real quick. One has to accept the accomplished fact there was nothing one could do about it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was already too late.
That's a good one. That's a really good one, yeah.
That's what As-Sabiqun do now. Just think, I'm reading this, and I'm saying, wait, this stuff, this has different levels. The first level is a big deal. The second level is an even bigger deal. But this level right here is done in front of everybody, and everybody see it. It ain't nothing they can do about it. One has to accept the accomplished fact. We done flooded the lights on all the police agencies and all the snitches without a scratch on us. And they done did everything in public. And everybody knows it. And maybe we'll sue them and get $10 million, or maybe. Technically, it don't make no difference. Because we not even own the little accounts. And as far as drawing guns, we know they can't use them. Because I make sure you can't come. Man, you ain't bringing no guns here. Because everybody on my side, they don't believe in it. I said, you can't come here. I was patting them down. You ask them out there. I pat everybody down. You can't have no gun around here.
That's right.
You can't have no gun. I said, we done won this. They don't believe it. They don't know it. After it's all over a long time, they said, man, that was deep. I said, of course it was deep. I said, how I'm going to go get an old rusty pistol and this niggas, the police has got snipers down the street. Don't y'all look nowhere? They got vans all up and down the street. Who you thinking them vans?
They don't watch enough movies.
You don't watch your movies?
Yeah, they watch enough movies.
Yeah, they got to know the police is if you pull out a gun,
I feel threatened.
yeah, the police attacking you is all police. And one of the little guys was with us, one of the Arab police, the brothers.
Oh, the Muslims attacking you.
The Muslims are attacking.
Right.
Yeah. So one of my son's little friend, you know how little Negroes are strong. So he took the police and body slammed him. You know when you throw him upside down and the gun, when the police's Glock, it's a regular police issue, falls out of the holster. When the police go, they are all police trained. Don't touch that gun. Okay, that the little guy had grabbed the gun, he had it in his hand. But he didn't have it pointed at nobody. And and he got 3 of them police. This is all going on.
And they light him up.
Look, those Negroes don't have no reason. Why would anybody come to a meeting, you're a Muslim, and disrupt the meeting for no reason? Why would anybody call the police to come in the masjid that you've been there for 35 years already? Why would they do that? In other words, the stuff they did, everything they did is unprecedented, is stupid, and it's ignorant. And then, why would nobody in Oakland have anything to say about it? Why did nobody even call or come by? Nobody. How are you doing? Except, underground folks, they get you a message. They know not to come by in person. But the other coons, the big Muslim leader, how many times did you call, what's his name, Nihad?
Oh, I've called him at least 5 or 6 times, man. Easy.
How many times did he answer?
He ain't never answered. Shoot, the guy asked me, look, they got us on there, they see my number. And can you hold on for a minute? And well, he's in a meeting. He's doing this, he's doing that. I said, okay, man, no problem. I said, I'm the brother from Masjid Islam. I said, I just want to holler at him. What is it about?
Yeah, what is it about?
Well, I want to talk about, it's for him. I want to talk to him. Well, you want to leave your name? And I'm like, man, I already did that. You don't return that. So can I talk to the brother? Nihad acts like, and every time I see Nihad, at them, Assalamu alaikum, brother Tufel. So he know who I am.
Yeah.
He don't take no call. Tufel. Well, oh no. No.
I was listening to KPFA, and first of all, when I left California, when I was there, I was going to get a big attorney and everything, big attorney and everything, for all of this stuff. But I said I'd wait. So I was listening to the radio. KPFA is the original WPFW, Pacifica station. So I was listening to this big civil rights attorney. He was saying, he was sounding kind of spiritual and learned. He was 82, 81 then. So he said, so the commentator said, now you went to prison for that civil rights stuff, didn't you? He said, yeah. The guy's name is Tony. So he said, yeah, I was at Lompoc and I had the wonderfulest time, pleasant. And well, what did you do there? He said, I worked in the nursery. I said, worked in the nursery. And yeah, the flowers. You notice how I plant flowers and I worked for the guy. I just knew him as Tony. But he was like Charles Gary. You remember Charles? All those big attorneys in the civil rights era? He was one of them. And he did the government, you know how they do, they send you to jail too. So he was in the pen. I worked in the nursery with him. I just knew him as Tony. So I said, Tony is the so-and-so. If I would have known him, I'd have been congratulating him. I just knew him as Tony. So I said, wait a minute. So I called his office, and the office said, you can't talk to him, and he only handles criminal cases. He was just a few months ago, you probably didn't hear about it, but Raymond Shrimp Boy Chow. This is a big case in California. It's on the news every day. He was handling that case. So I called his office. I said, hey, I want to talk to Tony Sierra. What is it all about? I said, I want to talk to him. This is personal. Well, he doesn't take civil rights cases. He only does criminal cases. I told my niece to go on the website that says Tony Sierra, famous civil rights, you know what I mean?
How did they know you needed a civil rights?
Hey, I'm telling you, the white man pays attention to his job, he just don't know what to do. That's all. And no, finally, I went over this, I said, well, if y'all don't let me talk to him, I'm gonna come over there with a sign and say, I want to talk to Tony. It's in San Francisco. Well, would you send us a package? I sent him a package with all kinds of stuff. So I called her, did you give the package to Tony? No, it don't say what you want, it's just a package. I said, lady, you give the thing to the man. They never talked to him. Now, this time when I go, because I'm ready to do that now, I said, oh, the white man think they want me to get an attorney, but they're going to be to fish around and get somebody that they can manage.
Right.
He's been fighting the government. They don't want me to have him. Well, they playing like that. It don't make no difference what it is. But I said, wait a minute. I said, tell him it's so-and-so, and I used to work for him in the nursery when he was in prison. One of the ladies said, he's never been in prison. I said, lady, you are the biggest fool in town. The man was in, don't you know he was in Lung Park prison camp? Yes, he was. I said, what's wrong? I said, forget about it. I said, I'm going to come over there with a sign in a few days, which I might have had now what, but I didn't have the time. But this time, I'll just have a little fun. But for all of this stuff that's been happening, remember, it's all recorded. They give people access to your account with a note. Khadijah and Mukhtar produced a misspelled note that they call the minutes. They don't call me, I'm the one. If I go to Bank of America now, they treat me like I'm trying to steal something. And they know I'm coming. Okay, that's fine. I go to the other bank, Wells Fargo, I said, I want to open an account. You can't open no account. Not under the Masjid al-Islam. You got something going on in California. And so I said, well, let me see. I'll go over to Citibank. You know the Citibank right there? Citibank right there in the little shopping center. So I open an account. And I go down and check. I put in my regular, this is in my slave name, you know, my regular housing authority. You know, I get a housing authority Section 8 check. So I go that day before yesterday, Thursday, to check. I said, okay, I want to, oh, that account got a hold on it. The bank of something, the Union Bank won't pay that check. And I said, y'all, this is the funniest acting people I ever seen. You know, so I'm going to have fun with them too. Why? Because the government has gone crazy. Just like what's happening in Syria with Saudi. Have you watched the news lately? You know, everybody trying to sue Saudi. The Congress is now trying to sue Saudi Arabia, right? For 9/11. Most of the people was in Saudi Arabia, right? How good can it get? I mean, just think about it. And in Syria, in Yemen, everything that we about, all our homeboys, and all the snitches in Iran, we gotta have JOP, something other, +5.
JCOP.
And every day you hear the Congress, we not gonna honor that, we gonna do this. See, that gives our home folks, we told you, and the same thing we told them. You can't make no treaty, you gotta listen to the Indians. The white man speaks with a forked tongue. He can't do right. It's not, he don't know what you're talking about honoring a treaty.
Just to understand, when you point to the Saudis to sue them,
Right.
the first thing the people say is, well, then why you attack Iraq? if the Saudis were the ones on the plane,
Right.
why did you
Why
chop
did
them
you
from Jump Street?
exactly right?
Now
Why
you're
did
suing them? Wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah, and who was the only people could leave the country? I was in LA. I had to catch a bus up to Oakland.
Yeah.
You couldn't leave on a plane for a week or two, except if you was from Saudi Arabia. Okay? All that stuff now, so old Jabiri, whatever his name was, he said, well, if we have $750 billion in US, so we might have to take our money out before, so they threatened them. It don't make no difference what they do. Why? Because the whole world now, see, everything is open.
Crystal clear.
That's what, the same thing happened to them on a big global level. That's exactly what happened with us. You see, it's all clear. That's why I always stick to the truth. You may be alone at first for a long time. You may die alone, but it don't make no difference. History will always vindicate the truth. So sometimes, that's why the Quran, and I'll move toward a close, sometimes it says, whether I give you in this life, or whether I postpone it, you know, that means, this is talking to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allah is telling him, look, whether I give this stuff to you now, where you can see it and you're satisfied with it, or whether I postpone it for a while, your job is to do the message, preach openly and clearly. You see what I mean? Now, that's our job too. Ain't no prophets coming after, but we have the prophetic message in the Quran. Same message the prophet got, we get it. So our job is the same, except we're more Negroid than we're not have no. But we got enough color in us that if we follow the book, you know what I mean, then we're on the right road. Let me see, what's the last word?
He's speaking in a language that the people understand.
Yes. One has to accept the accomplished fact. There was nothing one could do about it. It was already too late. Can you imagine the egg on the face of the European kid? You would have to see how stupid Mukhtar and them look. When they're trying to get down and you're not responding. And Allah gives you one time, a few months back, we outside the front of the Masjid on Friday, and Mukhtar is turning all sideways, his eyes glare. I said, this nigga is making me mad. So I went into the Masjid and locked the door. Why? We didn't already won the battle. You can't make me mad. And now I feel this is so stupid. I don't like this. I'm not having fun this minute. 98% of the time we have plenty of fun. A lot teach you to know yourself. So I said, that's it, homeboy. I'll go ahead and close the door. Why? Because I'm not going to pop someone or shoot someone and lose all the benefits. Allah give you that. So it's already done. Can you imagine? And it's the Negroes. See, when we whoop the white man, we talk about it, and we getting them back for all that slavery, all that Jim Crow and everything else. As-Sabiqun, presidents, priority, seniority. In the movement, we have seniority over everybody because we've outlasted everybody. Those that are older, we have to work to get them out of prison. Remember, Imam Jamil is still in prison. And the days is, I mean, he's got it covered, but I'm sure he wants to be out here. From what he told me last night, he would much rather be out here. Premeditation, unprecedented. That's As-Sabiqun. That's the name that we are going under. And the last thing I'd like to close on Oakland is, yes, we got a few more minutes. Oakland is the battleground for the future of the Islamic movement in North America. That's what Oakland is. That's what we've been setting it up for. I have one of the flyers from the old days, not that old, a few years back, and it says, you did it before, Oakland, and you can do it again. We were saying then, we have had, what's going on right now is a part of our plan that we've been had all along. It ain't no upstart, we got lucky at it. It's all, now in human terms, remember, let's just say, out of the whole 100%, allow us 1%. We're just saying, you don't have nothing really, but we just say that for the term of, for speaking terms. For our 1%, this ain't bragging, but the white man has never been treated this bad. And this mental, because he didn't believe niggas can do it. He's trying to figure right now, who's helping this nigga, who did this, who did that. He's running around a big circle trying to catch all the people that helped do it. All he got to do is go look in the mirror. He did it to himself. All people, when they big like that, they get arrogant, they get loose, they get mean, but they don't get sharper, you know what I mean? Yeah. So the Americans did all of this to themselves. All of their agents are sitting there, and I wouldn't want to be one of them. Here's why. Because can you imagine all the people that's looking at Abdul Malik and that's looking at Mukhtar, and then all the other tattletale Negroes from out of town? Everybody, see, it's not being, this movement gonna kick off strong from the East Coast and the West Coast, DC and Oakland. That was the mission all along. That's what Allah wanted us to do. And that's what we're gonna, inshallah, pull off. The stage is already set. The great Islamic recovery will not come from ISNA, ICNA, and all those millions of people, thousands of people, and all that money. It'll come from us. It's not arrogant, it's just that we have kept the thing clean and honest. Just like we read it. Just like we read it, we tried to give it out. Okay, people would say it's stupid to do that because you're going to give away money and you ain't got no money yourself. You know what I mean? Some people come and they ask somebody even now. We just said we don't have no money. Well, here you go. If you like it, fine. Their goal is to keep you broke and to make you spend up all your money, the little bit that you do have. But they're not reading the Quran. If you give even in times of depravity, when you deprive, that's the biggest time. The Quran is telling them that. This is about Imam Ali and his family, that those who gave when they were, you know, when you invite people to eat and you ain't got nothing yourself and you are there playing like you eating. One is another family, the other time is Ali. They feeding the people and they ain't got nothing to eat themselves. That's the big stuff. Okay, they don't think it's big. They think it's stupid. We don't care what them coons think. This is the thing. The last thing, dear brothers and sisters, is that if we stick with this Islam, this campaign, Oakland has stopped the advance of the regional and the international Zionist American movement. We just stopped it in its tracks. Nobody else has. And we're going to tell them about it. And that's going to make them even mad. Because the European hates for a nigga to make fun of him.
Well, he hates for a nigga to tell him anyway.
Yeah, but to tease him and talk about him, yes, sucker, we just whooped your behind. 2 niggas whooped 10,000 crackers and 50,000 stooges. Oakland is full of clowns out there, which it is. Y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all ought to be ashamed of themselves. Hey man, I wouldn't even join no team that had a record that bad. If they got a team with how many people on the court, you say basketball, 5 people, and you got a team and they were 1 on the team, and you run circles around the whole team and they all 7 and 8 feet tall, and you 5 feet tall and running circles around them and dunking and laughing and everything, right? That's the way it is. That's the way it is. They got all of that. Remember, they're the United States government. They recruit Negroes out of Howard, anywhere they can find, and they glad to go. Yes, Paul Sarko. And they done got hooked. We'll talk about the 30 years of encirclement and suppression and the blessings. I believe all of this relates to the blessings of Allah. That's basically what it is. And I'll close with this. It is, and it was, an opportunity. Remember, it's not what we got to do, it's what we get to do. This is what we want to do. There's a difference. Other people, they got to go to work. Well, they don't have to, but they just won't eat much. So they got to, right? We don't got to do none of this. We get to do it. You see, that's the difference. So thank you very much. And that is exactly 56 minutes. And alhamdulillah. Thank you very much.